So, this hell of a year is finally over, but there were some positive things that I got out of this. I was incredibly grateful for the amount of dance that I was able to do, for the amount of time I was able to spend with my roommates, with my friends, for the extra time working on my art and singing and dancing and just filling my days with things to keep me busy, and that happened to be the things that I love. I think that this year also really taught me how to be grateful and really honor what I have, because we all watched so many people lose so many people in their lives. And this year, I don't want to take anything for granted. We can feel out of control of our own lives in a lot of ways in terms of this pandemic, but it also helped us take charge in the things that we could control. This imaginary concept of time gives us a new chance to keep this going and to make this year better.
Here's how I'm gonna make 2021 my bitch.
That year looks fake. That doesn't even look real. Dude, but let's make this a good one, okay? Here are my resolutions.
So, we all are on our phones too much. We all are looking at screens too much, and it doesn't help that some of us have online learning. So overall, I just feel like my eyes are looking at a screen way too much. My screen time on my phone is embarrassing. I need to cut down on social media in general, just scrolling. I think like if I have a goal of, okay, I'm gonna post this, or I'm gonna post this picture, or I'm gonna check and reply to this, but I'll just sit and like scroll for no reason, which is what I want to cut out. I want to replace that with reading, writing, drawing. So doing something that's actually creative and good for my brain versus looking at people, comparing. I recently started reading this book that I really, really like. And it's been a really long time since I've actually sat down and read in the way that I have been now. So that's a big thing that I want to work on in the new year. Actually using my planner. So I always say that I'm gonna do this and then I never do. Usually my planner just becomes like this cluttered space. I write down assignments like pretty haphazardly, and it just becomes an array of what I have to do, and it's just ugly. So I got a really pretty planner to keep me motivated to actually using it, writing daily things that I want to do that don't just have to do with assignments. What I mean is basically just like what I want to do in the morning, what I want to accomplish, things that aren't just about, okay, this is due this day, like using my planner in a productive way, a positive way is what I mean. So I'm actually pretty good about keeping my room clean. My room's not really messy very much ever. My brain doesn't work if my space is cluttered. So I want to just keep that up during the year because things can get really busy, and so sometimes I don't make my bed every day, or my trash piles up, or my laundry, stuff like that, that I just want to make sure that I'm consistently keeping the space that I'm working and living in clean, because a lot of my classes still are online. So the space that I'm working in has to be a positive space, a clean space. I'm the type of person who loves self-care. I know when I need to take a break and take care of myself, but something that I tend to do is when I'm trying to avoid something that I really need to do, I'm like, no, self-care, like I'm gonna take a bath. No. I want to have one designated day a week that I actually do that I do a face mask and I take a bath, or whatever, that's just devoted to self-care, to where all my homework is done that day. I don't have to worry about anything that night after school, where I can just use that one night a week to relax. So I've really started working on this now. I've had a lot of stomach problems throughout the past two years. My stomach has just gotten really sensitive. My freshman year, I ate horribly and wrecked my stomach. I actually went to the ER because I had like digestion problems and all this stuff. So this year already, even before the new year, I've been starting to implement some healthier foods, but also just easier foods on my digestive system. So I've been cutting out dairy and gluten, and that's been helping me a lot. I'm not going 100% dairy-free and gluten-free. I'm just trying to work into it. But the little changes that I have made, like dairy-free in my coffee, gluten-free bread, those kind of things have really made a difference. So I want to dive more into that, find out what kind of foods I can make that are gluten-free, what kind of dairy-free options are out there that I actually like and that I'm excited about, because recently my coffee has been dairy-free and that's really helped, and it has saved me money as well, because making coffee at home is so much better than me going out and spending money on it, because dairy-free options at coffee shops are expensive, and so is dairy-free stuff at the store. But the thing is, if you have that at home and you're actually using it, then spending $5 on oat milk makes more sense than spending $5 on one drink that has oat milk in it. Of course that happened. Of course that happened, because why wouldn't that happen to me? Why wouldn't that happen to me? Start looking at things as I get to do this rather than I have to do this. So this really has to do with college in general. Last semester was not fun for me. Being online was really hard, and there were a lot of days that I didn't want to go to class, or I didn't want to do this assignment and I didn't want to do that. And so everything was kind of like I was dreading it, rather than, wow, I still get to go to school during a pandemic. I still get to have a voice lesson on my screen after I graduate in literally 3 semesters, this semester, fall, and spring, and then I'm done. I'll have to pay for dance classes, pay for acting classes, pay for a studio to use. That's just... So I need to start looking at things as, wow, I'm lucky that I have this space. I'm lucky that I have this class and that I get to do this, instead of grieving the college experience that I thought I was going to get to have and grieving the college experience that I wanted. Being more grateful for what I have, grateful for the environment that I have, the community, my university, and them trying to keep me safe. Basically looking at things like, I'm lucky I get to do this, rather than I don't want to have to do this. A big thing for me has always been that, I don't have time for therapy. I don't want to make the call because my schedule is too busy. I don't have time to do that. So actually carving out the time in my schedule to find a time to meet someone. A lot of places are doing telemedicine, so that's something that I need to explore. Call someone and make an appointment. And I think that that's always been a hard step for me, because I'm worried that having some kind of meeting face-to-face would be better for me than talking to someone on the phone that I've never met. That just seems not personable to me, and so I've been avoiding calling. But there are some things that a professional just needs to talk to you about, and therapy has always been something that I've wanted to try, and so I think that this year I'm actually going to prioritize that and work it into my schedule, because I think that it would really help me in a lot of ways. Devoting time to movement every single day. So I do not mean doing some crazy hour workout every single day, because when school starts up back again, I'll still be doing ballet class, I'll still have rehearsals, so I'm going to be active, but I want to have some type of movement in my day other than class every single day. I want to wake up and stretch, or do yoga, or even just lay down and roll out my back. Take care of my body, take care of my muscles, instead of letting it get so tired and worked up and stressed and sore. Actually taking time daily to do something positive for my body. I just want to take care of my body day by day and devote time to doing that. Those are my 2021 resolutions. I just thought I would share them with you guys and be really open and honest about the things in my life that I want to change. I think that 2020 was a shit show, and it was really hard on every single person that I know, and I think that a lot of us lost sight of taking care of ourselves, even though we had all of this extra time with ourselves. So somehow being in quarantine and being able to focus on us, we still weren't doing that. And the future can seem really scary and really uncertain, and so it's really easy to dread that and dread what's gonna happen and worry that 2021 is gonna be just as bad. I've had a lot of thoughts, you know, why should I be making these resolutions if we're still gonna be in a pandemic and if I'm not gonna get the vaccine for months? And the bottom line is that we had no idea that this was gonna take this long. This could have been avoided. People weren't being safe. So the best thing that we can do personally is keep ourselves safe, keep our mental health doing well, and make the best out of this situation, because the last thing I want is another year like 2020, and the last thing I want is to look back a year from now and say, I wish I would have done more in 2021 rather than just sit around and dread it. I truly have faith in this year. There's something in me, in my gut, that thinks that it'll be better, and I think that we can do it and that we can make it a better experience for all of us. I know that New Year's resolutions can feel kind of like, I can't stick to it. So pick things that you actually feel like you can stick to. It's not all gonna happen overnight. It's something that you have to do daily and that you have to implement into your life, into making your life more how you want it. You're in charge of your own life. You're in the driver's seat. That's all I have. I hope that 2021 is awesome, and by the time that I'm uploading this video, it will be 2021. So happy New Year, and I'll see you guys on Sunday.